Chiron doesn't get to 18 minutes.
Hi. How's
Oh,
everybody?
hi.
We're going to make it. We're back. We're talking. Don't even know that it's time to go.
Oh
That's
my
okay.
gosh. I know. Some charts. Kids, the charts that are out there today are
Oh,
absolutely crazy. And I can't see the chat on the screen, so I have to get my phone.
get it
So
on. Can you
please,
get it on your phone? Okay, cool.
yeah, I can, but I just want everybody to excuse me if I don't talk. It's
Oh, don't. Everybody here is cool. We know everybody here is cool.
yeah.
We only got one person so far coming, but we'll wait. Give it a couple minutes because tonight is the full moon. Hi, Jazz. Nice to see
Yeah.
you.
Hi, Jazz. The Crone Zone. Hello, ladies.
Oh,
Hey,
hi,
Priscilla, your hair
Priscilla.
looked beautiful last night,
Didn't it?
and
Didn't it?
Heather's haircut is very cute.
Yeah, didn't both of them look? I mean, I was saying in the back when we were in the backstage how everybody is so beautiful. Like we're reverse aging, even though we're going through all this
I'm
weirdness.
trying to.
It's like what? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! It is a
Right? I
full
just feel like
moon.
one of the ancients that the Crone Zone keeps talking to,
Oh my goodness! I swear, it,
especially.
it, it's been a heavy well, I'd say, I thought it was heavy before January, then February hit, and it's just been
I know.
nosediving.
Aren't
And
we
you're like,
getting tired of saying that?
I know, I'm sick
I'm,
of it.
I'm sure
I
they're all
wanted,
getting tired of hearing the same damn thing.
right? I wanted to tell everybody. Well, I see about May, end of May, we'll start rolling nice and steady. But man, just it's his self care. And
Well,
today is a full moon in Libra, so that is about what we love and value, right? What matters to us. Now we're seeing this play outside tariffs, the money, right? Our safety and security over money is getting hit really hard.
mhm.
And it's kind of a half hour after, let me just say this, a half hour after this new full moon in Libra, Venus will station direct. Venus is the ruler of this moon. Okay, she rules Libra, which is a cardinal sign, air sign, very loves beauty, it's about justice, right? So this justice thing keeps coming up. Now this is double time justice with Venus coming stationing direct right after this moon, with the Sun conjunct Chiron in Aries. Okay, so that's a big healing. And what's the healing? We're releasing. We're releasing old beliefs and
Well,
constructs. The whole way society has been set up is being dismantled. Diana and I have been saying this for 2 years. Everything was going to change, and it's not. We just
it's
did things.
going to hell in a handbasket.
Every aspect that is not life affirming cannot raise in frequency, cannot go where we're going. Cannot level up, elevate, evolve. So it has to. I don't know why my camera just went blurry. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have a whole new setup soon. Um, Let me see if I could get it to.
Well, with this Sun and Chiron conjunction, which isn't going to separate quickly, it is the potential for the cure.
Right.
How did I say that? Let me see if I can read
Well, it
read
is.
my notes.
Yeah, it's about letting go.
Yeah.
It's about
Well,
releasing.
and to fix it. So
Right.
that also comes under the heading of the things that you're talking about. What we have to
Absolutely.
let go of, what we need to repair in the way of the outside world, because so much of the outside world is causing our inner turmoil.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
outside influences, from the solar flares to to the human flares.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
that everybody is very spicy, right? And it's that spiciness of Aries, the fire of Aries, but
yeah.
it's there to,
Well, look at this.
most
Look
people don't think through Aries properly, and we're witnessing that. There's
at
just,
this pile up here
yeah,
in Pisces and Aries.
yeah, we're
You
just not,
know, I
we're
mean,
not moving.
holy jumping
Well,
Jehoshaphat.
the Pisces is the water, a never-ending, boundless, and it's just sitting there. So all this stuff that is trying to move into Aries can't really go anywhere. So it's making those who are reactionary and are, uh, let's just say it, making very bad decisions for the world are going to get burned over that. And that is going to unfold. It may not be today, but it will in a couple of weeks once things start moving forward. I think once Mars goes into Leo, which is more fire, that's really going to be because Leo can stand up. Leo's going to speak up. You got him in Cancer right now, and he's
Mars,
like, yeah, Mars in Cancer is like, you know what? All I care about is my safety and security right now. I can't even.
right?
It,
Because I
I
got to
can't.
take this action not just for you. We've got to take it together for the world, and that's he's not ready to move
No.
because of the water. It's like he can't swim in water. Even
Him
though
and
he's
all
the
that,
ruler of Scorpio,
and
he's
Aries, and
barely
Aries, you know.
yeah,
And we have all the Pisces water, so it's
yeah.
just like we just feel like we're drowning, or we're witnessing a lot of just. I mean, it's delusional.
Well,
It's crazy, right?
right. Not just, I mean, okay, we can look at the Schumann resonance and we can look at all the solar flares going out. That is definitely all a part of this. But the Schumann resonance is, how we can work with Gaia's heartbeat, if you will. All
Mm-hmm.
right. But the thing is we have Saturn
Mm.
on the nodes. And what is Saturn? He's Chronos. And what is Chronos? Father Time. And so you can be expecting time jumps, time
Yeah.
warps.
Yeah, in Pisces, while he's in Pisces,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's
because,
all.
yeah, you get
That's
that
all.
electricity coming down and hitting the water. Serendipitous. Lightning bolts are singing over the water.
And he's sextile in Uranus. So that's even more lightning, right? You just got
Yep.
all this it
Well,
it it is primordial. Let's put it like this. It's a primordial soup where things are really like going to change, but you got to keep putting in we got to put in our work. We know what reality we want to live in. Uh, that external reality is trying to keep everybody in fear of their safety and security. And I mean, it does. It bothers me every day, and I got to readjust myself every day. But
and avoid the
I,
news.
yeah, avoid the news. And what does that look like to you? What does that new reality look like to you? To each of us individually, because we're the ones creating it. But in the meantime, we're in this primordial soup where we're just kind of feeling into what it is we want to experience. It's so deep. I mean, it's spirit deep. I can't, it's almost impossible to describe these energies. They're so deep. And
And this brings the yod because this yod that we have in the sky is based in that Uranus Saturn sextile.
can you explain a yod real quick?
Yep, it's the finger of God. Now, today's yacht is brought to you by a quick moving situation because it's with the moon. But what is the moon? Even in his attempt to find balance, because he's in Libra, he is still going to be emotional. I'm sorry, grandmother moon. The moon is still going to be emotional to get there. Why? Because it's the father figure, Kronos, and it's the teenager, Uranus. No, I want change and I want it now. Bam.
But and they are all raising in frequency too. So we don't really know what they're gonna end up being, except I know it's gonna be more of a higher vibrational thing
Right.
because everything's elevating. But still, it's in those stages of creation. It's not fully developed yet. But
Well, and that
so the finger of God is saying what to us about it?
it's like, don't let this get to you, because the
Okay.
only way to stay balanced is to unplug. Okay.
Ah.
Because what else is there? We definitely have the right leg coming from Saturn in
Mm,
Pisces, but
mm,
he's a degree away from the south node, the north node, which is going to be conjunct with him any minute, and then Mercury's there at 28 degrees,
yeah. It's
and
crazy. It's
all
so
of that
crazy.
is, watch your mouth, especially as we get to Easter. Watch how you say things. Be sure of who it is you're talking to. If you can, you can be honest. You just have to sugarcoat stuff. Be honest without being insulting, because that just starts a trade war.
Yeah. Oh shit. It's crazy down there. And Venus is in Pisces. Now, Venus in Pisces, she's in the primordial soup too. We got
Mhm.
Venus, a Ceres, Saturn, North Node, Mercury, and Neptune is at 0 degrees Aries, which is right there on the creation, the world point. I mean, this is where life starts anew. So everything's real close to there, but they're in before the life starts anew in that primordial soup.
Right. So the
Just
other the
coming
other thing
coming
that's
in.
important
Uh,
about this, yeah, is think of this. So we have Saturn and we have Uranus in a sextile, and that is 60
Harmony.
degrees, right? Because
Mm.
a trine is 120, sextile is 60. We're going to split that in half, and that becomes 30. And what's smack dab in the middle? Chiron and Aries. Thank you very much. So in that yod,
Next to the
this
sun,
is
conjunct the sun.
this is Libra telling you, take care of yourself.
Hmm.
Don't worry about all of that rhetoric that's out there, because it's going to do what it's going to do whether you're involved or not.
That's right. And it's Aries. I am, because that's what we're doing. As everything is in that primordial soup, it is creating, it's recreating. We're recreating ourselves. We're recreating our entire way humanity it exists. But we're at the very, very baby stages of that. Well, we're coming close. But anyway, that is, I mean, this is, I don't think we've ever been, humanity has been in these energies. I mean, we say this a lot, but this is truly, it just keeps coming up that this hasn't happened before. We're entering into new territory and we're being recreated as the world's being recreated. Be gentle on yourself. Do this in grace and ease. The focus Libra, Virgo. I'm sorry, Venus, Libra, ruler of Libra. Um, uh, uh,
And Taurus.
and Taurus loves beauty, the beauty of things. To what your heart loves, what makes your heart smile.
Right?
Those are the things right
Chocolate.
now, at least for the next month, man. It's really, we got
Yeah.
about another month of this, but let me say this, and I'm just going to be real honest with you. It's going to get tighter and tighter, and then we're going to feel this release pop, but that happens differently, I would say around middle May, but I'm not sure.
Well, she's
No, May
stationed
25th.
direct. She's stationed direct now. Right? She's stationed direct at
Okay,
the
Venus,
time. I
yeah,
can't believe I don't have the time here.
24 degrees.
Oh, at 24 degrees, but the time. I don't have the time.
What,
Oh,
when
wait.
she
Yes, I
goes
do. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
for what? When
She
she
at
goes,
9 o'clock tonight. She
yeah,
is stationed direct, but my chart is
9:02.
already showing that she is, because
Yeah.
she is.
Hmm.
But then, you
Takes
know,
a minute though for her to come out. we're in that in between space, that liminal space. It takes all these planets after, especially we just had Mars, Mercury, and Venus all retrograde. Those are all the personal planets. Those are all saying to you, how do you want to remake yourself, right? But they don't come out of those when they station direct. It takes time to go forward, to start moving steadily forward.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying. And May 25th, Saturn enters zero Aries. So he's the last one in Pisces, and he'll be leaving Pisces. And the only thing that'll be in Pisces will be the North Node. But that's going backwards. They go retrograde all the time.
Right.
So that's when I see the pop happening. But that may still take, it's Saturn stationing direct. It's going to take about a week or so before he gets comfortable there. You want to say hi to everybody?
Sure.
We'll say hi to Jazz. We said hi to Priscilla. Water Lily, good to see you. Heavenly Blessed Honey, good to see you.
Annie
Ross,
Bear.
Annie Bear's here. Linda Ann Camarada. Oh, very cool name. Hi, Emmy J. Annie Bear. Nice to see you.
Lauren Hutzinger. Sally.
Lauren Hunsinger. Sally. Thank you for
Jesus Place.
coming. Christine.
Emmy
Gina.
J. Sorry.
Ah, no, it's
MJ
in my third.
is here.
Oh,
Hey.
gee, nice to see you, girl. Haven't seen you in a while. Uh,
Yeah, so
you
there's
haven't
there's
been
a lot
on a lot
going on.
either, though. Thank you all so much for coming. You make this so special. Your energy coming here, hanging out with us, just it really does lift us up. We really love hanging out with you. And any questions you have, please put them in. What time does Venus Station direct? 9:02 p.m. Eastern. That's right.
And
Absolutely.
he says the sun is loving me. I know. I'm trying to keep it from being right in my face.
The sun, and I know it's just like, but that sun is bringing in the light codes that is elevating the frequency of everything. So all of that solar flare, all that activity, all the Schumann, all of it, and we're the batteries that are plugged into the earth, holding that higher frequency for everybody who hasn't got here yet. And
This
it's no judgment, just saying it the way
yeah.
the
This is
way
barefoot in the grass, on the
yeah.
sands, wherever you walk. If you can do it barefoot, do it barefoot because
Absolutely.
it's the best way to get grounded.
Yeah. And we got Black Moon Lilith right at 1 degree Scorpio. Now let me say this because the moon's coming up to that. Okay, once the moon moves out of Libra, goes into Scorpio. So now we're going to have 2 days, 2.5 days of that Scorpio emotional influence helping us really look at what it is we're letting go. We're letting that we're re we're recreating ourselves. So we're rewriting our beliefs, and the only and those come up, random things just kind of pop up, and you're like, why do I even believe that? This just those kind of things, or why am I trying to keep this friendship going when this person isn't even whatever, wrapped up in their boyfriend, or things will come up into your awareness that's gonna ask you, why am I doing this? Or why am I in this relationship? Right? Because that's a Libra thing too. The scales, relationships, all kinds. But that Black Moon Lilith is sitting there saying, face your fears in Scorpio. And I'll tell you what, if we have any fears, this is the time to do it. She's going to be in Scorpio for 9 months, and she will really help us work through anything that is terrifying to us, because we are being our safety and security is, there's no way to nice to say this, is being targeted, and it is bringing up all those fears of our safety and security and money, and do I have enough, and resources. And it's a
You know,
it's a faith and belief thing right now with spirit. Go ahead.
so Sally asks, what does Venus going direct mean? So it's been hard to, it's not that it's been hard to commit, but right now, Venus is no longer the night star. She's come coming out of Hades. And when she emerges, she's the morning star.
Mhm.
So she's going to go into Aries on April 30th. Then she'll be out of the shadow phase. And then when she gets up there, right? I think she's out of the shadow phase at this.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
should. Yeah, it's around there.
well, the things that have been hard to get off the fence about.
Yes.
We're angry, we're upset, we're torn
Yes.
apart. We can't commit to the fight because we can't keep ourselves stationed. We can't we it's not that we don't know how we stand, we just don't know where to start.
Right. And that's because we're being purified on a very deep molecular level. So we're morphing. You know, like when you're in that primordial soup being, she's there too. Venus is in there with all these other planets going. We're all being transformed. And it really is almost well, it is. It's impossible to say what that's going to look like once we all come through it, but it is to raise in frequency, to evolve. It is not about devolving at all. It's just really hard right now because of the transformation that, I mean, this is serious, deep work in
Well,
the last degrees of Pisces. And we got that whole pile up there with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I have on my
and
chart. There's
and
probably more.
she's
And I,
right there with the North Node also. And so
yeah,
therefore she's still looking for the way forward.
the way
Now, when
forward.
she's a
Yeah.
morning star, that is when she is the real warrior goddess, right?
Mhm.
And for the next
Mhm.
9 months, she's going to be a morning star. And then she'll go into retrograde and she'll go back into Hades and she'll come back after 40 days. And when she comes out of Hades, she'll be an evening star and ready to party. Well, we got a ways to go for that 9 months
Yeah.
plus
Well,
to
isn't it?
her.
Does he do that every 9 months? Go 40 days retrograde? I mean,
I'm sorry.
does Venus go retrograde just every 9 months? I thought it was longer than that.
Well,
I don't know.
it plus the 40 days that she's
Yeah,
invisible.
okay. It's just, I mean, they've all had to go through the last degrees of the zodiac. They will all go to the first degree and into Aries. But the thing is that last degree of the zodiac, this is closing down cycles upon cycles upon cycles. I mean, we're talking the last 26,000 years, and I just kind of sum it up real quick like that. Age of Pisces, even though we're not going to totally be out of that into the age of Aquarius just yet, it takes time because all of things, all life on earth has to raise in frequency to ascend, to evolve. So that's what this is about. And that's how they explain it to me. But
Yeah. And when you're going to feel this change,
oh, this is a water sign.
because we have the North Node and Saturn in such proximity to each other, right? And I already mentioned that we are going to have these time hops, these warped time frames. And as she herself gets closer and closer to where the North Node is, she's doing this while she's moving forward and getting out of the shadow phase and
And
getting to the point where she's going to go ahead of where the North Node is and begin to take action. And though she won't exactly catch up to Mercury, they're going to be communicating because they're both going to be in Aries. She goes into Aries on the 30th, and he's already there. He goes into Aries um, on the 16th.
yeah, he goes this week. And yeah, Venus is really helping the world to go into what we love and value, what matters to us. But those things in the old energies that did matter, that we thought were, part of our government, part of our systems, part of our way of life, but if they were not for the highest best for people, it's got to go through a transition too. It's got to go for a transformation. I love that light, Diana.
I
My
know.
God,
I was
that's
just
so
like,
cool.
there.
I
You don't
love
see
that. I
it, and you
love
don't see me.
it.
We could go like, that's
bring,
not any better.
bring spirit through.
I'll
Bring
just keep.
spirit
I'll
through.
just keep moving over till I'm outside on, on that side
Yeah,
of the house.
I love it. I love it.
So
But it is a significant time period.
yeah.
If you are in the process of doing shadow work or anything coming up for you to be released, really consciously put your energy into that, because this is the perfect time to do that. Venus is really only 2 degrees away from the North Node, so they're just sitting there on top of each other. Venus, Saturn, North Node, Mercury, and Neptune. Oh, just like this is,
Well, and yeah, and that
and they're not
Neptune is at 0 degrees of Aries, and he's not
right
moving
there.
back. He's
They're
not going to
very
move. And he'll be at 1 degree on the 27th.
on a full new moon in Taurus, right?
Yeah.
And 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 this is
Yeah,
just
because on the
for,
17th, he'll only be at 29 minutes.
well, listen to this, just for to put it in perspective. Neptune and Saturn will be conjunct, could act exactly together. I think it's at 0 degrees, February 26, 2026. That's
Yeah.
how long this is going to play out. So
And and
that's
for those of you who don't already know or haven't heard this, nobody can find anything in history where this has ever happened
never happened.
before between Neptune and now, you don't have to do the math to go backwards forever. You just say, when did these two blah blah blah, and the apps will take you. And nobody's come up with anything, not Steve Judd, not Rick Levine, not
We need the
oh,
masters. Yeah, none
not
of them.
Lawless, not any of them can find
That's it.
that time where they were both at 0 degrees in Aries.
And they really all have, I mean, everybody has every astrologer comes at their perspective, what they're seeing in the chart. There's so many layers, there's so many levels. We'd be here for a week straight if we wanted to get to it really deep into it. So what I watch all of them, I read all kinds of articles. I do all, and it's just so amazing to see that these master astrologers can't, they're telling you it's not to be found anywhere. So that confirms to me that yes, this is a goal. This is where we do that timeline jump, and we are going into the golden age. Now it's a process. I thought it would be going a little faster than it is. I'm not in charge. I wish I was, but here we are. And yeah, Sandy, I mean Annie Berry, yes, I feel like I'm just being, like I'm in the chrysalis phase, but I've felt like I've been in the chrysalis phase of a butterfly for probably 2.5 years. Diana, I know she's feeling it.
You know it. So we also have a kite, and let's just call the kite as a little redemption. One of the reasons is that the top of the kite, the very center of the kite, is that Sedna. So we have Chiron and the sun over there working together for healing, for the cure, for the fix.
Yeah.
And we have Sedna, who is about the sacrifice and adaptation. So, what it is we have to let go of in order to go forward. So, with now having Mercury going forward and all of them going forward, but Mercury and Venus, because they're going to be the fastest moving, the fact that they're moving forward, action isn't that far behind us. And that release point is going to be the aha moment of what it is we have to let go of in order to make this forward progression. And that is Sedna at the tip of the kite. Y'all have flown a kite, so you know that that's the release point, and your tail is how it swings through the sky. So the grand trine that's below that is Mars. Even though he's direct, he's still in Cancer. He's at 27 degrees. Well, he's a fast moving planet. So he's beginning to gain speed and move more quickly. And then we have all that Pisces stuff that's piled up at 25,
Jill.
27 degrees. The North Node, the Saturn, the Venus, the Mercury, and even the Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, he's still within conjunction of Mercury. So, you know, there we sit. And then at the bottom of it all is Vesta for the bottom of the kite where the tail would be. And Vesta is about our partnerships. What new partnerships do we create? And since she is in Scorpio, what new partnerships do we create that are going to give us the ability to move forward?
Yeah.
And Juno, I'm sorry. Vesta is part of the mystic rectangle. Juno is in Sagittarius, across from Sagittarius,
Yeah.
at
And
0 degrees of Sagittarius. So
yeah.
she's the release, our new partnerships.
And Pele Athena is involved here with Jupiter in a trine. So that's making sure that wisdom and
She's going to
brilliance.
outsmart daddy. See,
Yeah.
Juno is, I mean, Jupiter is her father.
Yep. 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 And and also when Venus stations direct tonight at 9:02, all planets are direct for about what is it, 2 weeks? No, it's a little longer, I think. I forget who goes retro first. Um, Mercury enters Aries on the 16th. Mercury
Yeah.
conjunct Neptune. So this whole week, okay. Now tonight we go into or overnight on the East Coast. We're going to go into that Scorpio moon, but on the 17th, that's 2.5 days, right? Then we go to Sag. 17th, I think, is Friday. Uh, anyway, Mercury conjunct Neptune. This is going to be this is a powerful week to get downloads, to get messages from angels, guides, your team, Mother, Father, God. It's going to be very powerful with the messaging coming in.
And it is right now too.
Yeah, really is. That's the truth.
I
Sun.
mean, this inability to sleep. I've been looking at the chat, and so many of us are having terrible night's sleep or sleeping like a rock, which also is like a terrible night's sleep because you don't have a good REM
I wake up
when
like
you don't
five
move at
times.
all, right?
Yeah,
And
I
so
wake.
it it's all part of the reason why we're not sleeping well.
Yes, Andy Bear, they are. That's exactly what they
Yep,
are.
they
That's
are.
exactly what they are. It's all the different resonance, vibration, frequency of energies because we're all of those things, and certain ones vibe at certain rates, and we attach to that, and so on and so forth. Absolutely, I love that, Annie Bear.
Yeah.
I really love that.
And anybody who's worried about Saturn's rings disappearing,
I
they're
love it.
they're there. They just become invisible because of the way everybody tilts on their axis. And Saturn's going to be coming into a phase. It happens every 27 years. And so, or right around there, 27, 28 years. And so it's a phenomena, but it's not unusual. It happens.
You know what I
But they're
got?
still there. They're not disappearing.
Absolutely, but you know what I got when I first heard that and saw that? It was like all systems go. Like there is no barrier, there's no blockages, there's no barriers.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I mean, think of it. This is Father Time,
Yeah,
Chronos,
yeah.
and there'll
So
be time.
no,
Time will be working in our favor.
yes, it's gonna time. Well, we can all feel it, right? We know time is not the same as it was in our 20s. I mean, throughout life, we can tell time is way different than it ever was. Joe J says Mercury retrograde and Venus retro stalled everything. Yes, felt worn out, no energy at all. Started to feel good yesterday, and then that changed again today. So
Oh,
nothing worked. Now everything is popping at the same time. I'm so happy for you. Things are getting
well,
there. We're gonna get there.
for
We
sure.
are.
I got a good walk in this morning with the dogs, and I wasn't in any trouble. And I came home and I couldn't. Like, what the fuck just happened? I was walking just fine. Now I can't move. What is up?
I
Just
know it's crazy.
just
I've got
crazy.
someone. So
So
this
I'm blaming that on the solar flares that went off yesterday.
oh man, yeah, those are not easy. On top of all this, when those solar flares come in, I know it immediately. It's like, oh crap, but it is
And
helping us release and just let things just go. We're trying to get out of the fog, out of the swamp, out of the density. We just feel like we're stuck and it's gonna be probably till May 25th till we really get moving. But it's
yeah.
we're the oh my
So this weekend is Passover,
was it?
and
Oh good. See, I
like
don't know that.
we should be sitting cedar right now. And then, but this has been, well, how many times have we said we are in unprecedented times with what the large planets are doing, the slow movers, what the fast planets are doing, how such a pileup is going on in Aries and Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
And this, the end of Kali Yuga, the
Yep.
9 days of Buddha just went past,
Yeah.
Ramadan just ended, and now we are in Passover. And it's not very often that all of these things, all of
Yeah.
these religions that are really faith, because there's only one superior being. We all know that. Everybody's come together on that in agreeing. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have, when was the last time that all of these things came to an end? Well, first of all, Kali Yuga
Yeah.
is 24,000 years long. So that hasn't happened for a long time. And then the 9 days of Buddha lining up with Ramadan, that doesn't happen. And then Ramadan itself coming into the feast of Passover. When was the last time that happened? I can't remember. And I had reason
Yeah.
to, keep track of Ramadan because I had diversity in my classroom so much. So I paid attention to all the holidays. And then this Passover lines up with Easter, which, because that's the story we've been told, that Yeshua was riding through the streets of Nazareth getting palm fronds and everybody happy that he's there. And the next week, well, you know the story. So,
Yeah, and that okay. So let's use the old stories. This is what This is what Libra is asking us to balance within ourselves. Do we really believe that life is hard? That these things. I'm not saying that these things did or did not happen. That's not my point here. It's about, do we have to keep living in this fear of this survival mode, being in fear, being if I don't pray to the right God, I'm going to hell type of that a whole thing, right? All those deep seated beliefs, no matter if they're religious or whatever, money, love, that's what's coming up to be examined to say, is this balancing me out, or is this really detrimental because I can't grow? I can't grow. I can't because
yeah.
I'm terrified that this or that will happen because of all these stories we've been taught over 24,000 years. It's crazy. I heard something really cool the other day. I was collect all those little things for my posts, and this thing came up, and it was like talking about anxiety. And I'm always like, trying to ground, anchor, and connect to myself, and I just love how they put it. Anxiety and excitement are the same energy. You get to choose which way you want to go with that. I
Mm.
never looked at it like that. It was like it just saved my life. I mean, in that moment, I was just like, oh shit, that's so much easier.
Say that again. Say that again.
Okay, let's see. Anxiety and excitement are the same energy, but they produce two different results. You get to choose which of those what do you want to do? Excitement obviously gets us faster, gets us, like we're effervescent bubbles, right? Anxiety just kind of drops you down and just like you're just unable to move, and those are perceptions of how we look at things. And I was always one of those people who looked at things like the worst case possible scenario. It took me a long time to get to even to be as positive as I can be now, but that really took a layer off of that for me because I'm very, you know, I'm a Cancer. Everything irritates me, anxious, so, but I just thought it was really, I just loved it. And then I kept getting, we're birthing, we're in the birth canal, where was that
Oh
other
yeah.
word? Oh my God, like we're
Yeah.
just pregnant pause. I kept getting all this like pregnancy types of things and
We,
primordial, the
I'll tell you
primordial
what, it feels just like it did the first time I did this.
stuff, right?
Because I was born Frank Breach, so I know how
We
long it took.
both were. That's the one thing I love about, we were both born the same way, just ass backwards. This is the way it
Yeah.
is. Just
I
go.
was supposed to be born on May 9th, May 11th, and I didn't come out for another month. That's what a stubborn Taurus I am.
Yeah, I
But
was
then I
late
had a
too.
kid who did the same thing to me. Nicholas
Yep,
was the same way to me.
yep,
He was
yep.
supposed to be a Gemini, and he was so confused. He didn't come out until he was a Cancer. He
It's
said, "Hello,
something
how
else
are you
there.
doing?"
It's like it's something about that nose, like,
Yeah,
the first part's gonna be hard.
yeah.
So,
Aaron was right on target. Uh,
and so is
and
my
of course
oldest.
he was. He has a Capricorn rising. He's a Sagittarius with a Capricorn rising. He's going to do it right.
My first one was on time. My second one wanted to come out very early. He was in a hurry to get here.
Yeah,
But brain clear, I don't know why I wrote this. Brain clarity is coming in May.
yeah.
That's why I get that.
Hi, Leah. Thank
Sun
you.
Chiron
I got to
Aries.
say thank you to Leah for the clover tea. Yum, delicious.
Oh, nice. That's so nice, Leah. Thank you, Leah, for a compliment.
Yeah.
Um, that
Oh,
sun.
the sunshine is beautiful, but it just keeps making it hard for me to be seen. Where can I hide it?
You look very like a human being. You do. I love how you look in this sun. It looks really cool. I know Leah came in, Kim B came in, Day Gonzalez, nice to see you. Oh, it's so good to see everybody. KKSZ is here. Nice to see you. Penny Panatowski's here.
Penny.
Penny.
Yes. Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Let's see who else. I don't want to miss anybody. Thank you all for being here again. We really appreciate you. Really need to look at, as a Libran, balance has been difficult. Jeez, I can imagine. It's
Yeah.
not it's not anywhere close by at the moment.
No,
Nowhere.
not even, well, because
Cat
what we
Mama's
got.
here. Yeah,
Libra's across from Aries and the sun is in Aries. And the sun in Aries right now is
yeah.
pretty demanding
See,
because of all
Libra.
the other stuff.
Yeah, Libra's over here all by himself.
Right.
Well,
Just
kinda.
at 30 degrees between it and Pisces.
Yeah.
But maybe it's saving grace, maybe not. I don't know. It's going to go on the 19th. The sun goes out of Aries and goes into Taurus.
And then we
Already, we're into Taurus
already.
already. My gosh, you guys,
Yeah.
look at this. I
It's
mean,
gonna.
talk about time warp.
I think it looks so cool, Diana. I
My
mean,
little
it's just
sunbeam here.
powerful.
Well, it makes it look like I had a facelift. That's one thing that has not changed. This
I'm
time warp
telling you, I'm telling you, you're
is
getting
making
all
me
those.
look more like a Ponyatoski every day.
You're getting all those light codes. I mean, that's powerful energy right there. And we got the Virgo South Node. Now, this is good news because all of
Yeah.
these limiting beliefs that Virgo was very judgmental about. Virgo's been really working on themselves last few years, and they're more discerning now. So it's not like they're at that self-critical level anymore. Now, all of that stuff got to go. If you are, send it out to that anything that is at all impeding your growth, send it out to the South Node always, especially if it's in Virgo, because Virgo's a healer too. Um, by allowing us to release what's not working for us, that was disingenuous, wasn't real to begin with.
Right.
That's the whole thing. It's like all of these beliefs and constructs were never good for our highest good. For our highest good,
Right.
they were never for that. So they
The
have
self
to go.
the self-judgmental is fine, but like all things concerned with the ego,
Concern.
you got to keep it in check.
Yeah,
There's no reason to abuse yourself about it.
that's
You
right.
don't like what you did, find a way to fix it.
That's it.
I mean, you're already a perfectionist because we got this Virgo going on. And this
Hmm.
Virgo South node is what to let go of because it doesn't serve the purpose
That's right.
of our movement forward. The movement forward is swimming through the Pisces. Now, when was it? January what? That the egress began. And it takes 18 months for the nodes to switch into another axis, another balance, another opposition at a distance. A conjunction is,
Hmm.
I mean, an opposition is a conjunction at a distance. So
Hmm.
those two everybody's got in their chart, and those two are always the same degree. Whatever the south node degree is, the north node degree is going to be the same thing. So
Hmm.
you can honestly figure it out
Hmm.
how to carry it together because one is going to move, the
Yeah.
other one's moving with it.
Yeah.
So it is definitely up to you how to
Yeah.
go forward, how to go back.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Now, I could really confuse you, and I'm going to introduce this because it's
Don't go.
interesting. Well, it's because it's interesting. So, okay, so the nodes are like you have two stones, you throw them into the water, and the ripples go out, and where the ripples meet, that's a node. Where a tree branch puts out a sprout, that's a node because it's going to get another branch or a leaf or whatever. Okay.
Hmm.
So when you observe the water moving like that, don't you notice that when there's an intersection, sometimes the ripple backs looks like it backs up?
Yeah. Yep.
So so we use as astrologers, we use what we call the true node. Where it is, it is. We don't deal with the 10 minutes of it going in the other direction and then maybe another 10 minutes to get back there. So one day forward and then 20 more going in the proper direction. So sometimes you feel that little skip.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes you, especially now we have Saturn, Chronos on that node. Sometimes you're going to feel it a
Hmm.
little bit more than usual. And one gal that you and I know, and many of you might know her as well, Ginny. She's got her nodes in Pisces and Virgo right on cue. And
Hmm.
I was doing her chart last week, 2 weeks ago or so, and she don't have to worry about nothing. She's it.
In it, yeah. But they do all of this, all of these planets, and all of this. We usually talk about how it's affecting the collective, but we all have these. We all have this moon in Libra in our chart somewhere, wherever your Libra is,
Yeah,
and it matters because that's the part of growth. That's the part of where your releasing is coming from. Over
right.
there in Aries is where your growth is, going forward for
And
because the sun's in Aries right now. But um, there's just so
right.
much to it. There's so many layers, and it's so cool. I love how you brought that in. Oh, Jenny is here. Hi, Jenny.
Ah, girlfriend. I was just talking
Hi.
about you. Her ears must have brought her in.
Let's see. So I
There
saw
you go.
Cat Mama. Meows do drop in. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. It's just cool. Val, can Diana give me your address for treats? Oh, thank you, Leah. Of course. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you. And don't forget, Diana and I both do readings. Diana does a lot more stuff. She does Akashic readings. She does a lot of dream stuff and cards and you name it. She's oh
Mediumship.
yeah, medium. She's just a magical, amazing, magical person. So, but her information's in the description box. So is mine. If
Thank
you
you.
guys would
Thank you.
like to know.
Thank you.
Um, peace, Mama. Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm being terrible with this chat. How wonderful and illuminating. Okay, weird dreams. Yes, lots of weird dreams. Oh my goodness.
That's all that Pisces.
Man, I'm telling you, Pisces is dreams, imagination, illusion, delusion, confusion. But it's you gotta navigate the waters in Pisces like an expert sailor. You really, you kind of got to let yourself drop down into it and then navigate. It's kind of weird, isn't it,
Yeah.
Diana? How that
Yeah.
works? It's just wow.
Well, and understand that.
The North Node was in Aries. I'm sorry, Dinah. The last 18 months.
Yeah.
This
And
it,
so
it
that's where
just
my nodes are: Aries and Libra egress. And
happened.
the South Node was on my rising sign at the same time because my Libra is my rising sign is Libra. So when the South Node was on my rising sign, I sure was feeling it because that's the line between the 12th house and the first house.
Yeah, that
So it's like,
changes.
oh,
Well,
this is I can't make it all about me. I can't make it all about
well,
me.
but look how much you did grow from that to now. Look at
Yeah,
that. And see, this is the thing that I really want to point out about astrology. It doesn't happen in an instant. Maybe sometimes if Uranus is involved, but mostly these transits play out over time. Diana's really that being in her first house that like gives you a new life, a new way forward, new things coming in, and that's really going on with you, Diana. So that but we don't really see it because it takes so long, for these aspects to play out. The thing is, when the energy's ripe, like right now, like that is that Pisces, all that Pisces wants us to dream and imagine and create with that. And anything physical that's ever been created started with an imagination, with it, or as a dream, and that it's the very first part of manifesting anything. So, and tonight also too, you could do ceremony, do a little do what can I think? Cinnamon through the door. uh,
well,
little grid. It's watery, so you could do like water release of salt baths, baths. Anything is good with water. Um,
and I think that we are in our on the 16th when Venus goes direct. We're going to have a square and a half between Jupiter and Pluto.
oh my goodness,
And it does the same thing that a square does.
dude!
This is like, you can do this. It's a challenge, but you can rise to this challenge.
I had Chiron Sun squaring my sun in Cancer, 23 degrees.
I
Real
think
all
I'm
day.
trying to
That's
remember
what's
if this
actually
is
happening right now.
right, and with the moon, it's going to create a hammer of Thor.
Yeah, but
So it's
how?
about watching our own tempers
Yeah.
because Jupiter likes to expand. And Pluto is like, okay, well, let's just blow it up and start all over again.
Oh, and another thing, Diana, that Mars and Pluto are opposing. Now they're in
Yeah.
orb, and that's just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Well, as he goes into as he heads into Leo, which he's going to
Mhm.
be in Leo
Mar
for the 17th. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I put down.
So then,
Um,
yeah, then the degrees will be meaningless
yeah,
because he'll be sitting on that for a while.
sitting there for a while. So that though I see, and you got to remember they both rule Scorpio, and them opposing where they
I,
are, to me that's going to really expose the external BS we're seeing, and that's going to be really like hammer down. What's the hammer Thor? What are the planets
the
that are
moon's going to be the moon will be in Sagittarius, and then we have the Jupiter and a square and a half away from um, Pluto. So that is it right there.
yeah, that, and
The
see
moon
Pluto
is
again. Yeah,
like
yep,
fire the arrows,
yep. Pluto
because
and
he's going to be the emotions of it.
yep, Pluto and Aquarius is not going to tolerate this dictatorship at all. Dictatorship shit, whatever we want to call it.
Hi, Linda. Still loving the
Let's
picture
see.
of you. What a
Bob Marley. Let's see what Bob Marley has become my medicine and my morning dancer size since she went retrograde. LO. Aw, I love that.
yep.
Yeah, and that's those are the things that we got to do. Whatever gets you into the energy that dancing, right, raises the frequency, singing, creating art. Diana's an artist. She's probably, have you been making things? I know you're
Well,
going to start your garden.
I haven't
See
been doing much of anything except dream journal when it comes to art because
that.
I got these things that I'm trying to get through and throw away or give to Goodwill, and I'm making progress finally. But it has been like I've had two bedrooms torn apart because I'm going through every piece of clothing I own,
Yeah,
and
me too.
some of them it's like, well, this is a summer thing. I don't know if I'm going to want it or not, and so it goes back into the box. Oh, hello. Haven't had a thumbs up in a long time. And then, so all this and just feeling like crap and not being able to like walk, get out there and walk and then get in the car and can't move.
I love that, Joji. Surrender is the word for these interesting times. Be gentle with yourself, pamper yourself. It is so important. So important.
Everybody else can put pressure on you. Why put pressure on yourself, right?
Yeah, it's not worth it. That's what it really Libra, even though it's usually with other relationships and balancing the scales. Well, the main relationship we have is the one we have with ourselves, and we. I mean, this is all about self love and acceptance right now. And no matter what has happened from this moment beyond in the past is irrelevant. There's nothing we could do to change it. We can look at it and say we didn't come here to be perfect, and that's one of the things that is one of these beliefs that's got to go. We come here to experience experiences, and it doesn't mean that you're going to get it 100% right every time. That's impossible. And wherever that started, really, that was brutalizing humanity, you
It's
know?
it's the end of the Kali Yuga, and that's
Yes,
where it started.
yeah, yeah.
That somebody
Thank
said
God.
God is a hateful God, and he's not,
No,
because
he is not.
it's not a he.
Right? It's not either. I don't think. Oh my goodness, there's so
Ah.
much going on. It's just so.
Yeah.
What's Jazz saying? The full moon is in Libra in 12th house for me. Last week has been a lot of information on my inside. Wow, very cool.
Well, and that's where it is for me
Yeah.
because it's on my, going through my rising sign. So, well, now it's past my rising sign because my rising's at 18 degrees and it's at 23 degrees for the moon itself.
I'm just trying to catch up on it, make sure there wasn't a question I missed or anything. If you have any questions or anything, um, please put them in.
Oh, I was raised Catholic too. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't. My mom was pretty cool. She brought us to um, all different faiths, and we got to experience them all the time. But we went somewhere every week. It was pretty cool, though.
I thought giving the money to the missions was going to make me a saint. So, you know how schools always have fundraisers and
Yeah.
wrapping paper sales and shit. Well, they even had that in the 50s, right? So, my mother gets all these orders and sticks a whole bunch of money in my pocket with the order blank and says, "Give this to the nun." Well, I forgot. And I looked in my pocket when she's trying to get money for the missions. And I pull this out and I give it to her. It's all the neighbors' money for wrapping paper and candy and all that crap. And and I thought I was being a saint. But behind my back, the nuns were telling my mother, "You must be a saint. She's your daughter."
uh, yeah. Does
Yeah,
that
don't give it to
represent?
me. I'm only in second grade. Are you nuts?
You know, uh, yeah. And my mom she's told me so many horror stories about Catholic school. And
Oh.
so I got spared, thankfully. But Lee is asking, does Saturn represent the matrix? I think it does.
Oh, I
The
agree.
but that's changing. Like even though I think that there is a Saturn representing the matrix, there's also a Saturn representing the new way forward. Does that make sense? Like there's
It's
parallels or
I look at him
um,
as the old version, the original silent movie Metropolis. To me, that's Saturn. Matrix, I think that's Uranus.
but see, but I think Uranus pulls us out of there. That's why I don't see it like that. But I think they all have,
Uranus pulls us out of time.
yeah.
Well, the Matrix isn't time.
Or was she meaning this Matrix? The 3D? I don't know. I wish I knew, dudes. Is Kali Yuga, what's this question? A dark Piscean aspect? No,
It's
I
an
don't.
era, and the Yuga is the dark scenario.
Mm. It,
And now what has changed? It becomes the Kali Kali Lita. No, that's not right.
here, I'll get it.
Thank you.
They have so many, and it's all like each space has their own cycle, but it's all based on the precession of the equinoxes, how things move over time. So this is like the end of that 26,000 year cycle. But there's a golden age, a silver age, a bronze age, an iron age, and it kind of cycles around and around. And I think that is the matrix we're breaking out of. Like, I don't know. I think once you come out of there, not saying that that isn't still available for souls to experience, but I think you graduate out of that. I don't know how to explain what I'm saying
We're
to you.
caught in a trap. We can't look back because I love you too much, baby.
I was sitting here today, my guides all day. Oh my God. Every time I turned around, it was how different like tribes, right? The tribes within tribes, how tribes have fought each other, how tribe, and it was just like the peasants and the royals, and just how there's tribes within tribes. And I'm like, what are you trying to say to me? I never did. I said I was going to think about it later because I was too busy this afternoon, but it is hard, right? And like all this violence against each other that was perpetrated over false beliefs, I guess is what I'm saying. And we are coming out of that as a Kali Yuga cycle. I guess is how I'm trying to say it. So the cycle is right here. They're showing the whole wheel. The okay is Hindu, obviously. Now,
Yes.
and it starts. Okay, Satya Yuga is where
There.
we're going.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Satyuga.
So but there's Kali,
Right.
Dwarp, Trada. I mean, and they each take, certain amount of years, depending where they are in the circle.
And
But
like the Mayan
profession,
calendar too. Like with the Mayan
right,
calendar, there was just another shift in that. Not
right.
as big as it was in the year 2000, but
2012, yeah.
2012, 21.
Hmm.
But it,
Cycles and
there was
cycles.
a cycle shift. In fact, I took a seminar on touching base with Mayan astrology because I hadn't used it in such a long time. And I would have to say, I was disappointed in the way it was handled. And consequently, it's already gone out of my head, you know?
Peace, Mama, you would have to choose what kind of astrology you want with your birth date, birth time, and birth location, and it'll put a house system up for you. But you got to pick that, whether it's Placidus or Vedic or whatever it is, you want to. We do Western Placidus, and that's to me is more is I get more information like that. It's easier for me. I don't like equal house because that's not fair. The
Yeah,
houses aren't equal. I mean, you're just not.
right,
We're born at different times.
right.
Um, I wish I knew how to read a chart. Who's saying the chart thing? Well, yeah, it's cool. It's got to be
I can help.
something.
I can help Annie with that because I've done her chart. But I'll send you a copy again.
Oh, I like that. Well, when Neptune was discovered, which was way after Saturn, right? Then we go out Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. Those guys they do have a whole different vibe about them than Saturn and
Well, and
Jupiter.
the other thing to remember in all of this is there's Saturn. That's as far as they can see in
Yeah,
up in the sky, up in the universe. Since he was the end of it all, before Jupiter was discovered, he ruled Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces.
yeah. They gave all of all these planets had multiple signs because they didn't yet discover Uranus and Neptune, all the asteroid belt, all the centaurs, all that. We most people didn't even live to 50, which is your Chiron return to heal. So we kept coming back, healing, trying to heal things through lifetimes. In this lifetime, last lifetime, we might have lived a little longer. But
So,
it's crazy
so
how
Saturn, you
it opens.
think of Saturn as Jupiter's father, which in reality he is. But when we think about it like that, he still has rulership with Sagittarius. However, he's taking a back seat. Let my kid run this business. Because
Mm,
when that happened, he still had Capricorn and Aquarius and Pisces until Uranus was discovered. So now he is co ruler with Uranus on Aquarius and Jupiter. So he still has all this double duty. And then when Neptune was discovered, well, now Neptune makes sense to be the ruling planet of Pisces because of what Neptune represents, right? That water, and Pisces is a water sign.
mhm.
So the rulership of Saturn went to where he, as a young man, had his best qualification, which is the father of the universe. And think about it. He's the school principal. He's the hierophant. He is the father figure in the home. Um, he is the law, and he is
But
foundation.
yes, but I do think, okay, because let's go with Saturn, this old Saturn, okay, because this is how it's shown to me. It's a patriarchy. The patriarchy was horrible to the matriarchy, horrible to the entire world for
Kali Yuga.
26,000 years. Exactly. So it's evolving up out of that on some level. I'm not saying he's not going to run responsibility and things like that, but I think we're going to be responsible with the proper knowledge of what it means to be human, not to be abused and used like we have been for 26,000 years. So I don't, that's where it gets weird for me because there's so much change going to go through on that. We're not going to continue
You
to abuse
know,
ourselves. We can't
right. In all
evolve like that.
time, it's not the first time that Saturn's been with Neptune. However, this is the one thing that she was saying, is it going to change because they were hanging out? Well, let's just say Grandpa got to know the youngest grandchild
Yes, I love that.
before he restructures with a cane.
And Annie Bear again, it does not. I don't know if Libra is in your first house because I don't know your birth time, birthplace, and birth dates. Diana would be able to tell you.
Yeah,
But
the time of, I don't think I have you on my cell phone. You're on my iPad, and so I can't just tell you. But
thank
I'll
you,
look
Mary
to see if you're there.
Thornberry.
I don't think you are though.
Breaking down Saturn. It is discipline and responsibility, but it needs to be authentic, ethical, truthful, honest. We can't treat people like dirt and expect them to live in a certain way. That's a false reality. That's got to change. That underlying uh, abuse, that tribe abuse. Why is Iran fighting with the whatever? Not Iran, Israel and Palestine. I mean, my God, these two tribes just can't stop fighting. When does it ever end?
So you have, Annie, your moon is in Taurus in the 12th house at 24 degrees.
Okay.
Your rising sign is 0 degrees of Gemini. So Sedna is sitting on your rising sign, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of letting go.
That's a lot of releasing. And what have you been working with for this whole past year since Sedna went into 0 degrees of Gemini, which was the end of last year, right? It was
Hmm.
September when Sedna entered Gemini.
I think it was summer,
Still
maybe.
summer,
Yeah,
August,
something
September,
like
something like that. So, and Vesta, you were making a lot of improvements on your house.
that.
You did the
Hmm.
bathroom, you worked on the kitchen and stuff like that, and you got a new tool closet now going inside the house.
Oh,
So
cool,
that's Vesta sitting on your rising sign
cool.
and
Yeah.
right on that cusp line, because that Vesta is at 25 degrees of Taurus, but that is close enough to 0 degrees of Gemini because it's right there. So the dream of your Vesta, how you want your home to look, is starting to come true. You manifest it in that first house with your rising sign,
I
and
do.
then your sun. Now I have your sun at 29 degrees of Scorpio, the
Yeah,
last
I
degree,
remember that. That is true. I remember that. Well, how do I know that about?
because I don't
We
know.
read for
Well,
her,
because we've answered questions before here,
but
so
didn't we both read for Annie Bear once a while back?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
But either way,
We did with
she's
Sally.
asking. Oh, whatever sign a person is at their first house. No, it's based on time, location, and date, and that's really important
Yeah.
because don't forget how many time zones there are throughout the world. It gets real intense there. Um, Thank you for coming, Denise McMillan. I'm glad you're catching the live. I'm glad you're here.
Thank
And
you.
yes, Mary Thornberry, but Saturn also does bring courage and cosmic justice. And that is what I think is really coming through what his primordial transformation in Pisces is
Right.
about. Once he
Because
gets
this
to hear it,
Venus going to be the morning star, and the warrior says, no, I'm mad as hell and I'm not taking it anymore. We're going to be able to figure this out. The judgment of that Virgo South node is going to say, this is an argument not worth having. This is the argument we fight for. This
Thanks
is
for waking up, Randy. Randy was just waking up from a nap. Hi, Randy. I'm in a house, she says. Yeah. And Saturn, the taskmaster, he is hard, but we are better afterwards. Yes, but the thing that I've always got really, like, I don't know why, it pisses me off with Saturn, because all of that stuff that was a lie, that was perpetrated on humanity to treat each other the way we did and disempower the divine feminine, divine masculine, was inauthentic. And so we were always in that low density, just like abusing each other, stepping on each other. What do they say? You got it. Climbing up the ladder, like things like that, just all that crazy shit. Yes, we all need to have self responsibility and um, uh, be,
well, we the people
yeah,
rule
but
ourselves.
yeah,
We just
right,
need them to keep the books.
right. Thank you, because that's what he does best. Keep that money going. Saturn rules Capricorn. Very, they can make physical reality into, make those dreams into that reality, literally.
A
And
parent has to trust that they raised the child right and allow
yeah,
the child to
that
make their own
too.
mistakes, or the child doesn't learn from those mistakes. You have to let them fall down. You have to let them be themselves.
Hmm. Well, like that.
Otherwise,
Thank you, Mary.
you're going to be picking them up when they're 40 something, 60 something.
Hmm. And these are, like, every planet has cycles. So when you have a Saturn return, it's between 28, 32, usually around 30.
Well, and you see, you have one every 7 years.
You
However,
have aspects.
it's not exact in the exact same place. So the first time when you have it, it's going to be like the opening square. You're 7 years old. Then it's going to be opposite. You're 14. And what happens at 14? Oh, you're in puberty. 7 years old is called the age of reason for a reason, because your parents told you don't stick your hand in the fire. And now you're going to figure it out for yourself. So you
Mm,
stick your hand in the candle, which you've seen your father do a million times, but he never shared the trick with you. The trick is the center of the fire has no heat. The heat is all around the flame. So you pass it through quickly and you don't feel it. But if you hold your hand over the flame, you're going to get burned. So that's how you figure that out at age 7.
and
Then
yeah,
when
and
you
that,
hit puberty, you're just trying to figure even more out. What is this? What do I got to sneak to do in order to do this? And then you get to be the next 7 years, you're going to be 21, and you've had a job, you've gone to school, you've done a good job, or you failed and you lost a bunch of jobs, or you failed in school, etc. But if you've learned lessons as you round that closing square to go to the perfected Saturn return, when you get there, you may even have children of your own by then, because you're 28, 29, 30 years old as you go around that corner.
my first Saturn return was damn nightmare. But that's okay, but okay, so in Mary's question here, it governs life cycles such as Saturn return, making major transitions in life. So Saturn is having a major transition as well. Absolutely.
Right.
Everybody's in those last degrees of Pisces. They are being transformed. They are being upgraded on some level. I don't know in all the details. That's something that's going to unfold for us as we go forward. But I do get that it's for humanity's best, highest interest as we evolve, as we ascend. So all
So
planets,
every planet, we can do that with every planet,
right?
like the cycles of the moon. Do you want a 28-day? Do you want a 9 month? The human gestation period was every 9 months with the moon. And so when you put it together that way, here's the opening square, here's the opposition, here's the closing square. Here is the birth of the child.
Well,
So,
she's saying it's a circle, right? And there's four squares in the circle. So
yeah,
each
four
is
corners.
four corners, but each has its own time frame. It takes 30 years for Saturn to go around that circle. It takes 12 for Jupiter. It's just like
Well, it
those types
takes,
of things.
it's 28 years for it to go back to where it was when you were born. Like I had a Jupiter return in 2020, but it wasn't in the same, it wasn't, it didn't match
Well,
up for that
yeah,
84
so
years
what?
because your first Jupiter return is the opening square is 12 years, the opposition is 12 years. Then you go to this closing square, which is another 12 years. Then you get back up here. So you don't really have your first Jupiter return. That, with the opening, opposition, closing, and back to where you start again for 84 years. I'm sorry, 48 years and then 84 years. So I'm coming up to my second one when I turned 84.
Mars enters. Okay, so the main thing for tonight, we're going forward forever in
Yeah.
every moment. I would say we have to choose. We have a choice: love or fear, and that's just really how we gotta, you know, create our way forward. If I sit, and I get stuck in fear, and I have to sit here and pull myself out of it every day. And I'm sure we all do. I'm not special. I'm not saying it like that, but man, as soon as I sit here and I go, wait a minute, why am I choosing fear when I can choose love? Then it just all changes. It's just like boom, too. It's instantaneously. That's one cool thing about these energies. The veil is gone. So we have access to all of this higher consciousness, uh, the light codes, the neutrinos, the all of it's coming to us, and we can direct it, we can mold it, create it into what it is that we prefer, or what makes our heart smile. um what was I looking at here? Master balancing, we are going. I do feel a pop. Order out of chaos. I don't know why I wrote that. Making order out of chaos. Steps phased of growth. Purification, one of three choices. One of three choices. I kept getting that too. We have love or fear, past, present, or future. Like you can sit here, or I could sit here, because this was me having this conversation with myself and wallow in all this stupid stuff that's going on outside. My life's fine in here, but as soon as I am even get a glimpse or hear something about what's going on out there, all of a sudden I'm stuck in this miserable present that I don't want to be in. Instead of creating a better present, because I could just by making that choice, right? So that was something I was being taught all week. I don't know if that resonates, but
Well,
um,
let me apologize for the confusion of adding the square corners to the circle. But that is how you mark time in cycles. Okay. So
it's all cycles within
and
cycles within
how we
cycles.
go forward, right? It's how we go forward.
Hmm.
And that's what astrology looks for, is cycles and patterns.
Yeah, yeah. And that's
So
why
when
we're.
you have your first Uranus return, the very first one, because it takes 84 years to go around the sun, you have your very first Uranus return when you're 84 years old. And at that
84.
same time, you're having your second Jupiter return. And if it's all working out in your favor, you're wealthy, healthy, and
Well,
still living
but
like my
isn't that,
grandmother.
well, wait a minute, but isn't that based on the old setup? So what constitutes wealth going forward? That's what I keep getting. I keep getting all this is going to change. We've been getting this for the last couple of years. Uh,
Yeah.
the way
And we got to do it
currently.
for another two.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, it gets deep, right? You're inside of here, like how much more can change, and when you realize how many aspects of this world that control externally that control us or have a hand in how we live that really don't. I mean, how many times can you get taxed on something?
Annie,
You
I know
know?
we've been promising that we're going to start a class, and we will. I'm trying to get my
Well,
StreamYard up and running, and I'm suffering with it.
well, wait a minute. Thank you for bringing that up, Andy Bear. Let me tell you that these last, well, since 2020, I don't even know how I show up. I don't know how any of this even happened. I sit here in a day going, wow, how do I know astrology? Like I don't even know. It's just been so hard for all of us as we keep diving down and being recreated and transformed and in that primordial suit all the time. We're going to come out of it. And because I keep sitting here going, I need to create this class. Now, Diana and I did that class once in another setting with
5 years.
other people.
It's been 5 years already. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
it has. And we want
But
to update it. Yeah,
we
we want
are
to
going to
update
do
it.
it as soon as
Yeah,
we clear the cobwebs, which
yeah, we
hopefully
are.
will be this summer.
Yeah, we want to do it right. And we just didn't, we knew that energetically we didn't have it in us at the moment. We just don't.
Well,
Most of
there's
us
so
here are
many things,
struggling.
right? Like Allie and I have started a show on trees, and we're on ash. We got stuck, and we haven't been able to go back, and because all of this other stuff piles
That's
up on
right.
us as well.
Yep.
We're
Allie and I,
right.
yeah, we
We're
used to,
just like everybody.
yep. And it's not, I don't want to put out bad stuff. That's why I'm getting all new equipment. I want to like upgrade. I want to upgrade my background. So I'm going to be doing that. Allie and I usually do the 2 shows a month. We haven't even
Baby
got
stuff.
together. We got a show coming on the 26th, but hopefully I'll have all my new setup ready.
And
And
hopefully I'll have this set up too. So
yeah, Diane
great.
wants to get hers. And I mean, we can do the class in a Zoom. We both
Yeah,
have Zooms. So
which
that's
we would.
yeah, but I think are we gonna put that basic class out on YouTube first? The very basics of the basic stuff.
We could do the basics of the basics. Yep.
Okay.
And that we might be ready to do in June
Yeah,
because
we could.
well, let's
Yeah, I don't want
I
to
just thought of
commit.
something I heard on the news about June. We're going to wait.
Yeah, that we can't. I mean, and the thing is, when we get together and it's like, hey, you ready to do this? We knock it out, no problem. We just
Yeah.
nobody's had it. Nobody's had the energy or the focus or the wherewithal or anything. And I'm just being honest. I think we're all living there. It's just, uh, and we really, uh, it. We're gonna make it so cool. So
No.
it's so easy for you to understand, but you got to take it in very basic terms to begin with. We don't want to overwhelm you in the very basics of the basics class.
No, Sally, you didn't add to the burden.
I love this,
Not at all.
Sally. Real wealth is
Yep.
freedom.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I hear. Freedom and our individual rights. And we are and then Pluto and Aquarius pop in my head and they're like, yeah, that's where
Why
we're headed.
that's where we're trying to get this
Yeah.
to go.
Mhm.
It's just like a motorcycle that you drop down. Sometimes you need some help lifting it up because it weighs 700 pounds.
God
You're
bless
not
you.
going to do this one alone.
God bless you. I'm too much of a chicken to get on a motorcycle. Nope. Need some cover. I'm a
Oh,
Cancer. I need a
and I'm
shell.
done. I'm not riding ever again. I'm done.
I'm sorry.
I'm done with iron horses.
Oh man.
I wouldn't
But
even get on a horse anymore,
that
that I
had to
was
be
ever
fun.
any good at that. So
I know. I used to love trying to ride horses. I got thrown off all the time. It was funny. It hurt. What's this going on? Let's see. Annie Bear, I'm so frippin' bummed. Gemini and Taurus people have sucked in my life, and now Gemini and Taurus are in my chart. Everybody has
well,
every
yeah.
sign. Hold on, Annie Bear. Everybody has every sign. Diana's the Gemini. and
Hello.
she's your friend. So,
I'm
and
just teasing you, Annie.
I know, but you got to remember this too, everybody. Each sign has their lower attributes, their higher attributes, and how somewhere in the middle we all kind of work through it to figure out what's the best way for us. Like we just use Leo. Leos are known for being narcissists and attention seeking and sucking the air out of the room. But that's the lower end. The higher end is a heart centered, courageous person. So it's hard. We don't want to point at somebody and say, "Oh, you suck." That's not very nice.
Well, there is one orange Gemini we could say that about.
Yeah, now he does
Now,
suck.
there's
So
somebody who gives
yeah,
Geminis a bad name,
yeah, him and all his little
along with
buddies.
7 others that were heavy in politics:
Hi, Maria.
Pence, Xiaoping, and some of his cabinet. And
Aw, thank you,
anyway,
Randy.
enough of that. But having said all of that,
Oh
we
no,
we
Sal.
we got this. No,
Yeah,
no,
don't.
no, no, no. You didn't add to the load.
No, you're not adding to nothing. I've been meaning to bring
Shit,
this
I
up.
just
Like,
go to sleep.
yeah. I've been meaning to bring this up and explain why we haven't had the class yet because that's how I can't retain anything for like more than 10 minutes. How
I
I
know.
even know what this
I
says.
know. I talked to her. I know. But I just told you what.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been intense. And this is really all I do focus in on is astrology because there's so much of it. There is no way. I mean, it's epic. I can't even, what's was the words we were talking, there aren't words for this time period that we're living through, and it's amazing. It's
So, yes, everybody's got all the signs in their chart because think of the chart as a pie chart with 12 slices. 12 zodiac signs gives you
Here we go.
12 slices. Each slice not only gets a sign, it gets a planet and a house number. So if you are an Aries sun and it's in the first house, lucky you. You own that house. Your sun is in there. And let's say you have your Mars and Mercury there as well. Well, Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. And
Mm-hmm.
that means he's very much at home in that first house. And your sun is there. Well, you don't have to worry about paying rent with the option to buy. But if it was me, my Gemini sun is in the ninth house. So normally Gemini would be in the third house for rulership. In the ninth house, I'm in Sagittarius house. So I'm paying rent with option to buy because my son's never going to leave the ninth house. That's your blueprint. That's your birth chart.
But you got to know this, right? There's no two charts alike. So there's infinite amount of combinations. This
How
is
many
why,
times have we
and
done twins?
right,
And just the difference in birth
one sign.
can,
Yeah,
can change the rising sign and
yep.
can change the house of the rest of the planets, which does have an effect.
And this is really, this is one of the old constructs, things that they took away from us so we wouldn't connect to our hearts and our souls, is the ability to look at our charts. Because if you, or your chart is your divine blueprint, that the moment of your birth, the moment, the time and date of your birth, and this, there have been astrologers are the first ever, uh, what do I want to say, profession. But it was out of necessity. I mean, you had to know where the planets were to know what time it was, to know what phase, what season you were in, et cetera, right? So as we were disconnected from who our divine blueprint was, we didn't know we had a spirit team. We didn't know we had a divine blueprint, because this is not an easy place to come to. You come here with some help, but it was taken away from us. So that has got to change. This is an excellent time to get your chart read.
Well,
If
and
you want to get a reading now. And I mean, with
the only
anybody, I'm not
people
saying
who
just me.
and the only people who could afford astrologers back in the old days were the kings and queens and the courts, and wars were planned by astrology.
Mhm. I think that though, and this is when they started removing the wise women or the wise men of the village, because they knew these things and they could help people understand to a certain level, what the signs were saying or
Yeah.
things like that,
Well, and
but
the three wise men were astrologers:
right, right.
Balthasar, Caspar, and Melchior. And the fourth wise man gave away all his jewels, so he never got to catch up to those other guys. But he stood at the foot of the cross during the crucifixion. So his name is Altabar.
Out the bar.
Altabar.
Man, there's so much to it. It's such a deep, deep, rich history, astrology. I mean, really, it, we, as we go into this new cycle, it's going to get really nice 2020 into 2026, 2027. That's where we're really going to feel into all of this transformation that we are creating right now. That's why it's important for us to focus on what you want to create. Who do you want to be? What do you want to emulate? What is important to you? Go live in that joy, live in those moments of love instead of fear. Um, is there any other questions? Let's see. Diana, yeah, Diana does have a way of bringing things to life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annie
I
Berry.
love you, Annie. You're awesome.
Can you
I
tell me
love
what?
everybody here, by the way.
Oh, Lord, play, love, and remember. Goodness gracious, I can't remember yesterday.
Well, 1998. Okay.
I kind of get it, but not really.
Well, we were already thinking about Y2K
Yeah.
and what's going to happen, and nothing happened. They figured it out. All you got to do is set the clock.
Okay, but see, there we go again, right? That was fear perpetrated onto humanity to give us something to take away our safety and security. And
Right.
this is what we're breaking away from. We're breaking away from the liars, the fear mongers, the disinformation crowd. The ones who just rely on lies and uh, distortion for because that's what makes them money. It's always about profit over people, profit over Mother Earth. It doesn't all that stuff's got to be siphoned out, and we could create a whole better society for humanity without having these fear mongers in our face 24/7. That's where I'm so angry at them. I can't stand them. Oh my gosh. But we have been almost on here for 2 hours, Miss Diana.
Oh my gosh, you
I
guys,
don't well,
thank you for
well,
having us.
uh, thank you for hanging out with us. I mean, if you don't want to hang out, we can hang out. It's up to Diana if you want to hang out. If you have any questions or
Do we even have people left? Oh my God, there's 38
yeah,
people.
that's what I'm saying. I'm grateful for an
We must
increase.
all be in the same. We're caught in a trap.
Yeah. Yes.
Can't
See,
walk out.
Lauren, she knows it was a lie from the get go. Nope.
Yeah, it sure was. Because the Mayan calendar's been doing it forever.
I had to bartend that night, and everybody was freaking out. I'm in
Yeah, if it's all
higher.
gonna blow apart, let it happen while I'm in a bar.
Well, I was in one of the high end hotels, and I was the beverage manager, and we had parties going on everywhere,
Oh
and
yeah,
everybody's just running to me. This gonna come down, and I'm like, "What? If it crashes, we'll deal with it. I can't talk about it now. I
yeah.
mean, what are you gonna do? It's crazy. And nothing happened. We made a lot of money. It was a good night, you know.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
tips were hot too.
That's all right. It's all good. Oh my God. But see, and look what they're doing too. They're doing the same
They're
thing
doing
now.
it again.
Yeah, just with now it's tariffs, and tomorrow
Damn
it'll be some
Kronos.
other,
Yeah,
yeah, some other ridiculous thing coming out of that idiot's mouth. Oh
right.
my
Well,
God,
it's been
bless
25
America.
years. What do you want?
It's been what? Say that again.
Been 25 years since Y2K. What do you want?
Yeah, but dude, we just got rid of this one the first time on his first round, 2016 to 2020, where millions of people died. How did anybody think that he is? I
I
just
have
don't. I
no
don't believe he was elected fairly.
I
He
have no idea. And yet I ride through town and see this flag on a couple of lawns. Are you out of your mind? Oh,
oh,
you wanted this? This is what you wanted?
what's
Oh,
your
my
question,
God.
Kim? Yeah,
Well,
like
where does one start? Yeah, what questions, honey? Exactly. Where do we begin?
yeah. And well, and when I ask that question to my guides, it's like you are transforming from the inside out. You create the person you want to be, and then we meet like-minded people, like in a group we're in now, and we help each other remember, help each other walk each other home, right? How do we raise frequency? That's probably the biggest
Yeah.
question going to go on for the next year, 2 years, because once you stabilize, and there's days where I feel really like just buoyant, like higher up there. But as soon as I get a glimpse of the outside external BS, it I crash, right? And then I'm gonna come back and fix myself. But they're saying there's gonna come this point where there's this stabilization and we can be in these higher frequencies without letting that lower stuff pull us back down.
Well, because we're going to have this beginning, this new foundation of
Yeah.
Saturn Aries,
Yes, yes, yes,
moving
yes.
much faster than Neptune,
Mm-hmm.
while he still sits there
Saturn, yeah.
trying to adjust to this rocky bottom that he's not used to because he's used to the sand shifting under his tide. And now he's going to be amongst the mountains, the
Mm.
water that fills up,
Mhm.
the crevasse that fills up the Grand Canyon, where the
Mhm.
water used to be. There's places that I would walk in Virginia, you could almost still hear the water rushing over these boulders. That
Mhm.
was just in my little neighborhood in Chantilly, and
Mhm.
they were huge. So you can imagine when the ocean, 4 hours away from me, where you lived on Virginia Beach, was 4 hours inshore
Mhm.
before it started to wibble wobble and break apart and all of that. So we're we're not we're sort of back at that. We're sort
Yeah.
of back at the beginning of
Yeah.
a new era. And this one has a better handle on the way forward because it's Aquarius, and Aquarius understands what to hang on to
Yeah.
and when to throw that lightning bolt for the sake of the quickening. And what is the quickening? Well, doctors describe it as the moment you feel a movement in your womb. So that
Mhm.
means life.
Yeah.
The quickening is life.
And we create that by the imagining and dreaming in the life we want to be participating in, and the people we want to be with, and the things we want to be doing. But we have to separate ourselves from the old beliefs that held us down and held us back, and know that there's higher consciousness information flowing in here that's helping us open up and expand, see that bigger picture, that bigger vision of how humanity could be. Again, I don't know how long the time frame is and all that, but that's how I'm showing it. And it's to me, that's the whole reason why we came here this lifetime, was to help increase the frequency so we could all do that jump. Um, and we don't do it at once. We do it at different times. All of us are on different parts of the path. We're just remember, we just get to certain, you break through, you jump another timeline, and then you kind of hang out there for a while, and then you break through and you do it again and you do it again. And that was another thing they were saying today. This is always in layers. This, especially this year, it's going to be layer after layer after layer. We're still within that, the primordial layer, where we're creating, trying to decide on what to create,
It's the layers for sure. It's
Yeah,
the layers for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And how do you sort the layers carefully so it doesn't get all mangled?
Right? Yeah,
Right?
because that's it.
Because some of them are dry, some of them are too wet and they
Right.
crumble, or they just don't peel off easily sometimes.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting to observe, because you just look back, from your whole lifetime has been this training ground, and how far you've grown, how much you've learned, I mean, I never knew all this part of this energy was here, especially when I was stuck down in the density of that matrix or false reality or old reality, or however we want to label it. And then, man, when you start seeing this part of the world, this part of the energy, you're just like, wow, um, what more? How much more is there? What else is there? And that's what we're going to find out next year or two. We're going to create that. So that to me is cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I
Well,
we're all starting to get tired here.
yeah. Thank you guys for being
Oh
here.
gosh, yes. Thank you all so much for coming.
Oh my goodness. So let me read Kimby. I'm in Alabama, sitting by a small lake, feeling peaceful, albeit nostalgic. It is such a juxtaposition to what is going on in the world. That is amazing.
I'm
And
glad
that's
you made it there.
and that is exactly what we need to be
Yeah,
giving ourselves right
that,
there.
that's it. And if we have to
Mhm.
stay in the house to get it, so be it.
Yep, wherever it works for you. That doesn't, it's totally personal, but I'm so happy for you, Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming here. Hi, Maria has perfect health. We love you, and we will definitely see you on the 27th, hopefully with new equipment, and we'll have better plans on the class.
Yes.
We love you very, 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 very much. Be safe out there. Stay in your heart. We love you. Bye, guys. Oh, without a speeding ticket. Good one, Kimberly. Hi, Glenn Curry. Bye, everybody. We love you.
Love it. Bye bye.